Our lead story of the day, per usual, is yesterday's White House press briefing, where we have the gladiators, Peter Doocy of Fox News and Phillip Wegmann of Real Clear Politics, questioning Karine Jean-Pierre on a variety of issues. And wait till we get to Phillip Wegmann's phenomenal question and Karine Jean-Pierre's disgusting answer. This one is going to make your head spin, folks. Support a true American patriot by hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave us a short, sweet comment down below. You leaving us a comment down below, folks, does yeoman's work in supporting the show and the channel. It basically forces the YouTube algorithm to send our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. We are all in belief here, folks, that we are being shadow banned. So you taking that extra step does support the show bigly. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's go ahead and roll it.
Thank you, Karine. First on the news of the day. Does it bug President Biden when former presidents suck up all the oxygen?
What's important to the president is to continue to focus on the American people. That is what's important to the president.
So he's good to lay low for a couple news cycles then.
So look, here's
Yes, Peter. Oh, I love Peter Doocy. Can we just pull back one moment and just address something here? One of the elephants in the room, and that's Peter Doocy and how he's changed over time. If you recall, when Jen Psaki, Karine Jean-Pierre's predecessor, was White House press secretary, he really brought hardball questions that kind of stumped Jen Psaki. And then when Karine Jean-Pierre got the podium and the job, he kept those hardball questions going, but it completely stumped her and destroyed her, which is why everybody had those Peter Doocy destroys or mic drops Karine Jean-Pierre videos. And so she couldn't just answer any of his questions anymore. So she just stopped answering not just his questions, but everybody's questions in the room because they're all stumping her. So he goes, well, I might as well have some fun with it. So now he's just basically trolling the Biden administration with these questions. They're not hardball questions. He's just basically going, well, I might as well have some fun with it if you're not going to answer anything or anybody else's questions. So we might as well have a good laugh. So here we are with it all.
Here's the thing, Peter, and this is what we will speak to. We will speak to the fact that this is a president that has been able to get historic pieces of legislation done. When you think about the infrastructure legislation, something that, we heard many times during the last administration, infrastructure week, guess what this president was able to do? He was able to bring both sides together to get this done. And now we're seeing investments in the country, a rebuilding in the country that we haven't seen in 70 years. That's what the president cares about. He cares about the fact that Medicare is now able to...
Just folks, hold on. She's throwing a lot of stuff here and it's a lot of nonsense. Okay, you got the infrastructure thing that she's talking about that just spent a wazoo of money that we don't have. There's a lot of people from around the country that watch this show. And I know I've been hounding a lot of leaving a comment down below, but really, have you seen any of the federal government conducting any sort of infrastructure in your area? Let me know. Because I haven't. I live in California. I mean, I see Caltrans out there, never working, by the way. It's just always cones and everything else going on. I actually never see anybody literally working. But that's for a whole nother video and a whole nother point. Is anybody seeing any work done? These trillions of dollars that were spent, is anybody seeing anything? Let me know, please, for the love of God.
To work, talk to Big Pharma to lower and to negotiate and lower costs. That's what the president cares about. What he wants to see is how do we build on his economic policy, his economic plan that has been able to turn this country around from when he first walked in, from what we saw.
Did she just say turn this country around? Literally all you had to do was walk into the office and just say, hey, go back to work. And people are going to go back to work. And then what they do is, because the government just got done shutting down everybody for literally years, and so everybody goes back to work, they're like, we made 12 million new jobs. No, people just went back to work. And you actually fabricated those numbers of which we did an episode on. Furthermore, she's going to sit there like, well, his economic plan. You've been saying that we're in a transition for literally 2 years, lady. What economic plan are you talking about? You have McDonald's laying off 150,000 people. Microsoft, Amazon. Practically you name the company, they're laying people off. So I don't know what you're talking about. Inflation's at 6%. Gas prices are about to go through the roof once again. We talked about how you have OPEC and the Saudis decreasing the amount of barrels per day, and you might see a 26 cent increase at the pump, and that's lowballing it. So, you're right. Joe Biden's figuring everything out. All the problems he's caused, somehow he has the solutions to them, even though we know he doesn't.
Happened in the last administration, basically a mess when it came to the economy, when it came to dealing with COVID. So the president wants...
I can't keep pausing it. Jesus, there's so much content here. Folks, you get a lot of reactions out of me because usually it's the first time I've heard it. Usually I'll hear the questions and then I'll sit there and play it for you all. And so you're getting real-time reactions, real-time commentary from me. Folks, she's going to blame the Trump administration for an economy of which Trump didn't cause. The Chinese caused. So why are you blaming Trump? Why would you not blame the Chinese? Gee, I might have a few ideas here. Maybe because the Biden family's in bed with the Chinese. They just got $3 million from them, but no investigations there. You have Hunter Biden supposedly having a lot of business dealings happening there. No questions about it. But when Ivanka Trump has some business dealings in Russia because she has a clothing company, all of a sudden she has to shut that down. But it's okay for the Bidens just to receive millions of dollars allegedly from the Chinese. Yeah, I see how that all works now. Perfect.
Wants to do is to build on that, and that's his focus. He wakes up every morning thinking about the American people. He goes to bed every night thinking about the American people.
Okay. On the Taiwan president.
What? First of all, according to Jen Psaki, we all saw that interview, he don't do anything before 9 a.m. Okay, a lot of people already work and get a lot of work done in America before 9 a.m. That man ain't doing nothing. He's barely getting out of bed. Okay, Lord only knows when he actually goes to bed. Supposedly he's a night owl. But you're going to tell me that when he wakes up, the American people are on his mind, and when he goes to bed, the American people are on his mind? I don't think so. Look around. The only people on his mind are the Ukrainians, the Chinese, and illegal aliens. It's not Americans. We're the ones getting shafted here. Literally, we're getting shafted left and right. I mean, you name it. It's probably because of Joe Biden. So it's amazing. And literally like a 60-second span, the amount of nonsense that was spewed is head spinning. And we're only calling out a little bit of it. We're not even going that in depth on the whole thing. Like I said, there's a whole episode that we could do just on those 60 seconds that she just spewed that nonsense.
If China tries to take over Taiwan, is President Biden still committed to putting U.S. boots on the ground in Taiwan?
We've answered this question multiple times. I don't have anything else to share.
Okay.
Answer it again.
On the China spycraft, why did President Biden say about the China spycraft in February, we were able to protect sensitive sites against collection, if that's not true?
I'm not going to dive into any reporting. That's not something I'm going to do. I'm not going to confirm any reporting.
Why?
Look, we knew the flight.
Not reporting. The DNI said today that the U.S. does not appear to have provided critical new insights to the People's Republic of China. So is it they didn't provide any new critical insights, or they didn't get anything?
I would refer you to the ODNI if you have specific questions on their reporting. What I can tell you from here, and what we have said many times, is that we knew the flight path of the balloon before it crossed the United States. We took precautions in advance to ensure that it didn't get sensitive information. And when it comes to technology like this balloon, it has limited additive value compared to other means of intelligent collection. And we have said that. And the bottom line is, this is the administration that identified the problem and took action.
This is the administration that identified the problem when we watched it leave mainland China and could have blown it up then, and watched it hover all over our military installations, gathering a bunch of intelligence of which we were told by the Biden administration wasn't happening, and how this thing was flying figure eights around all our, again, military installations, gathering whatever it needs, and when it was all said and done, it was over the Atlantic, all of a sudden we blow it out of the sky. But he figured it out, you guys. See, Joe Biden solved the issue for all of you. You don't have to worry about anything. Dude, you really, if you tried to script this administration, you couldn't, okay? Theoretically, you could say the same thing about the Trump administration, but this is a whole nother level here. A whole nother level. Well, we got Phillip Wegmann, the other gladiator here. Folks, you got to give some love to Phillip Wegmann, our boy here. The man has gone weeks without getting a question in. Look at his arms sky high. It's the tallest arm in the room right there. The man hasn't got a question in today. Finally, he gets one in. I almost started a counter on the show to see how many days it is for him and Jackie Heinrich not to get questions in. But he gets one in. But let me tell you, folks, her response is insane when he gets talking about children and trans and stuff like that. Her response is nuts.
Okay.
Thank you. Former Vice President Pence said that if the shooter who killed 6 people in that Christian school in Tennessee was motivated by a hatred towards Christians, that the crime should be categorized as a hate crime. I'm wondering what the president thinks of that kind of designation.
It's not for us to decide.
And then today, Indiana just banned
He wasn't asking you to decide. He was just asking for your opinion. Okay. Nobody's telling you to make a decision on this thing of like, this is what we must classify it as. Hey, you know, what does the president think? Even if he has no say in it, just like, what does he think? We're not going to make that decision.
Puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and gender transition surgeries for minors. I'm wondering what the president's reaction is to the Indiana governor signing that bill into law, and does the president have a position on at what age these kinds of therapies and surgeries are appropriate?
That's something for a child and their parents to decide. It's not something that we believe should be decided by legislators. So I'll leave it there. Well, you know, in the past couple of months, we have seen a record number of LGBTQI bills, anti-LGBTQI bills. More than 600 of them have been filed in state houses, and a significant number of them have been anti-trans bills. And
it's amazing on the messaging that comes out of her mouth. I know I say this all the time. LGBTQ bills, that could be about gays, lesbian, trans, queer, pansexual. I mean, there's literally a rainbow. There's a spectrum of stuff that they cover here that it's just being broad spectrum in terms of, well, there's like 500 bills in there and it's all anti this, anti that. And she goes, well, there's a lot of it's anti-trans. A lot of it is you targeting children and wanting to remove and castrate them. You want to remove their genitals. You want to take out their breasts and lop off their stuff down below. I'm trying to be sensitive here because it's freaking YouTube, but I'm trying to keep it together because it's so insane that you're going to see that basically she's full supportive. And we've already known this because we've seen the public service announcement from the Biden administration that they're all supportive of children being castrated, being given hormone blockers, having surgeries that you can't come back from. She's sitting on the podium all for this stuff. It is so, and you heard her say, well, it's up to the children and their parents to decide. No, it's up to the parents to decide, not the child. The child doesn't know yet. Their brain's not even remotely being able to formulate any sort of coherent thought in terms of trans, sex, the components of it, the outlook of what the ramifications that they're making now will happen in the future in terms of them never being able to give birth or have a child or have a family that they're giving birth to. I mean, it is so insane that we're even having this conversation today in 2023. We are performing the biggest experiment on children that's ever been done here, and you have somebody on the podium right now that's speaking as the mouthpiece of the leader of the free world that's totally for it.
You know, targeted at youth, and this is a president that has said that when these are some of the bravest people. He knows, but no one should have to be brave just to be themselves. And so this is a president that has been committed to this community, that has been committed to our kids in the trans community.
Oh, he's committed to kids, all right, folks. We've all seen those videos.
Trans youth, and he's going to continue to fight for them. But again, I'm just going to leave it there. Okay.
That is so insane, and kudos to Phil for actually being the one reporter in the room that formulated that question. Never gave us an age, by the way, so we shouldn't answer that one. But good God, man. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.